missed you folders. Guess what we're doing today? Yes! Tessellations. Now, what the heck are tessellations? Bing. A tessellation is an arrangement of shapes closely fitted together, especially of polygons in a repeated pattern without gaps or overlapping. Bing. For example, here we have a checkerboard pattern, and it's just basic, simple, square on square, but you can really notice it because of the different shapes. And here we have a more complex, it looks like cubes, and another one. And look at these ones, they just get more complex as we go along. This is some rainbow fish, and they fit so nice and snug together. Now we have another example of cats and dogs. Which one did you notice first? I saw the dogs. And here's an example of naturally occurring tessellations in nature. I love redundancy. But yes, these are little honeycomb hexagons. So nice and snug. Beautiful. And here we have an example of a tortoise. And our final example of a pineapple. You look at those snug patterns. Lovely. Okie doke, let's get started.
Box twist.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a box twist. This is a really cool form of action origami where when you pull two corners, you see that it can actually expand. Just like that. And it's actually a really cool type of origami. It has the least amount of motion. And let's go over the materials. You're going to need a square sheet of paper. This one is 8.5 by 8.5. Honestly, I suggest rounding to 8 by 8, 9 by 9, 6 by 6, any of those. The one I tested on was 4 by 4. And with that information, you guys could just do it however you want, any size sheet. You see it works with a tiny little one. Cool. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be marking up this paper, and it'll be a quarter. We're going to be going, since this paper specifically is 8.5 by 8.5, I'm marking 4 1/4 at each one. So again, round, if you do 8 by 8, you'll only have to go 4 inches on each side. Right there, I'm just checking to see that I made some straight lines and I have some good right angles. So now what I'm doing is I'm marking down from the outside 2 inches. Okay, so I would recommend doing at least 3 inches if you're gonna do 8 by 8, so that your square will be smaller. And I'm just marking from the outside in of each bisecting line 2 inches inward. And now using the right triangle, I'm using it as to create my own right triangles. The ruler is going to be touching all 3 of those points, and I'm just marking it so I can have a rotated box just like that. Now I was looking at the box twist again, the mini one that I practiced with. And what you're going to have to do, since this is from a different perspective, you're going to be drawing lines going to the left, but all of the lines, you just need to go in the same direction. They can go to the left, they can go to the right. That's just going to change the orientation of how it's, how the square in the center rotates. So you're going at that vertex right there, and you're just drawing a parallel line. You see I'm using the parallel bars, kind of what we did with the Nepalese flag. And I marked the vertical lines. Well, I marked those first few lines in the square with black. And the purple lines, those ones are going to be the valleys. The black lines are going to be the mountains. And here I'm just folding it, and we're just making those creases right now. I'm just trying out different methods of how to fold this paper. This was actually a kind of heavier paper. It was a thicker cardstock. It was, I think it did well, even though, yeah, just do, just do like 3 inches. You guys are gonna see in a bit, uh, why I recommend it. I'm all, but, yeah. And here I'm really trying to fit it in. Honestly, this was probably one of the harder ones to try to have it fit as an origami fold. You're just kind of slowly meshing it, trying not to create any new folds, not pressing hard, just got kind of wiggling it into its form. And we've almost got it, and bam! The square is way too big for it. It does have like a kind of cool uniform, like it peaks on the top and then it dips in the right side for each corner. But it works. It works. You pull it on either end and it'll open. You push it back and it'll close. Yeah, you see right there the box is smaller than the whole thing. I want to see how your guys are gonna turn out because I want to see how big you guys can make them, or how small they can be. I was figuring since I did it the first time small, it was harder, but it was probably the same amount of difficulty. I mean, it's not too hard. It was just different. It is really cool because you do get to see the square rotate. Oh, I like that. But yeah, you could print out that. I'll put a link in the website so that you guys could print it at home, or you could draw it like I drew it. And it's really easy to do. It's fun to open and close. Yeah, just seeing how the paper moves is pretty satisfying. Let's go to the next one. Miura ori map fold. Okay, so we're gonna need one scratch paper and another paper. The scratch paper is gonna be our ruler, and honestly, other than that, we're gonna probably need a pencil. So with this ruler for the scratch paper, what you're gonna do is you are going to fold it, and we're gonna put it into 8 equal parts. You're gonna fold it in half. And I really, when I found out about this method, I'm all like, this is amazing. I want to try to utilize it more. It's very cool. And now you're going to fold it into quarters. And what I like to do is I like to have that free edge and hold the other edge perpendicular to it, just so that I have it nice and straight. And now I'm folding it into eighths. And this is a really easy and efficient way to divide your paper into eighths. So I'm folding those ones halfway. And they are all valley folds, as you guys can see. Or if you turn them the other way, if you turn the paper on the other side, they're mountain folds. Now with one edge, you are going to go across to the second line, and that's going to help you fold it and make those center, the like 3/8 mark and the 5/8 marking. Same deal with that one. We're moving it over there. This video, I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible. Sorry if some things aren't as clear, but I will be linking the video that I used with the method that was used because I really loved it. Now here I'm just darkening the lines for the first two folds on either side. And honestly, this helped me because I was doing this with lights, and the lights kind of blurred the folds for me, so I couldn't really see it. And now to divide that top part into fits, you're going to put one edge on the first line and the other edge on the second line. And if you were to count it, you would see that it is divided into 5 parts. I'm just switching it, same deal. This is one of Euclid's axioms, guys. 2 points can make a straight line. And right here, I'm marking just 1/5 of that. So with that one little dot that I made in that corner, I'm ever so slightly pinching it. And now I'm going to try to align the top so that we have a nice straight edge that's perpendicular to the other edge. You want to be as precise as you can, but honestly, with this type of fold, you don't have to be. You kind of have some liberation in how you want to make your map fold, and it's pretty forgiving, honestly. So you're going to fold this accordion style, mountain valley, mountain valley, mountain valley, and you do want to make it as straight as you can. But if like it becomes too short at the last part, or it's too long, don't even trip, you'll do fine. Now we're going to be reinforcing these vertical edges. So we're changing all of the valleys to mountains and mountains to valleys. And you're doing the the nail technique where you pinch on either side with your nails, and it makes this like ripping noise. But I do urge you guys to do this because it is going to help you. When you're folding it, you're going to be folding it inward and outward. It's going to be changing the orientation of peak and valley for that one. Now we're going to be dividing this strip into 7 parts. So you're going to line at one edge, and then the other corner, sorry, it's been cut off, but it's going to the fold just before the edge. So that's 7 parts. This page is 8. The scratch paper is a ruler of 8s. So you just take off one of the parts, and you're marking 2 on the left and 1 on the right, and you're drawing this vertical line. Now this vertical line is going to be going to kind of be your guide, and you're going to be dividing that line into thirds. You're only going to use the top X, so you really want to make that noticeable. And what's going to happen is that little X that you marked, that you see by my thumb, that corner, that opposite corner, it's going to be pointing to it. And it is very okay that it's supposed to look like this. It's supposed to have this super acute angle. And you are going to hammer down that fold. You want to press that crease. Press it like a pressed shirt. Now for this is what you're going to do for the rest of this strip. Each edge, it's going to be parallel to the second edge before it or above it. So the one above it, directly above that first flap, it's angled, but it's going to be parallel to the one above the angled one. And again, press that edge. Same deal with this guy. Now the angled edge is going to be parallel with the other angled edge. And you want to have the sides flush with each other. Now you're going to flip it over just so that you can see it better, and it's going to be easier for you to fold. But right there, again, you have one edge right there. Skip one edge and make it parallel to the other one, maintaining that other side to have a flush side. I feel like I said edge 30 times. And you know what? I'm going to say it 30 more times. Press, 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 press. Otra vez, otra vez. Again, again. Look at this. And I know what you guys mean. I mean, I can see what you guys are saying or seeing. It's odd, but it's gonna work. Trust me, trust us, trust Miura. I don't know if that's their name. I'm pretty sure it is. I should look it up. I really should have looked it up before I went to this. Press, 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 and that's the last part of our strip. And you see, look, it's so little. It's so little and tiny. So now we're just gonna open it, and we're going to just have our paper all open, and we're gonna lay it flat. So it is a tessellation. The patterns, they go towards each other. You see some supplemental angles. They are not squares, okay? Well, oh, are they squares? Yeah. Wait, no, they're not squares because they're not 90-degree angles between the things. They are mirrored patterns. And then you see this line right here. It's in zigzag. It's not a vertical line or a horizontal line. I mean, it's a zigzag. So with the rest of this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be folding the vertical line. We're gonna follow that one, and you see it starts off with a mountain on the left side. So the rest of that row, they're gonna be mountain creases. We're gonna change the mountains because right now it's mountain peak, mountain peak, mountain peak. We're gonna make that whole row mountain creases. So mountain, 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 mountain. And you're gonna see that this crease doesn't want to lay flat because it's not flat. It's curved, it's angled. And now let's force the other side. Folding it back in there makes it feel really comfortable, and it's easy, and you can really press those edges. So now for the next one, they're going to be valleys. We're going to press those other two to be valleys. Oh yeah. And I don't know if you guys notice, it'll be more prevalent the more you do this. This is something that it's not like innately easy. It's something that you get the hang of. And those vertical lines, you know, when we divided that paper into fifths, those ones are going to be changing peak and valley with every row that we crease. So you see that we're going to open it. The next one's going to be mountain. And now we're changing that mountain to a valley to a mountain, mountain to a valley. We just want to feel nice and close with each other. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Okay. So that's good. And we're just going to keep on doing this until we finish it. I'll let you guys watch this because you'll see that the vertical lines, they're switching back and forward depending on what fold you're focusing on. And again, this doesn't want to be flat. It doesn't, it wants to be in that zigzaggy accordion style fold. And that's our last one. And look at how small this guy is. Itty bitty. I'm pressing, 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 pressing. I really want those creases and folds to be nice and comfy with each other. Now, let's show you why this is important to, or why this was so useful in technology. Say, do you guys remember the star shade? You want to send a big flat panel. Let's pretend that you didn't know about the Muta Ori map fold. How do you fold a paper? You fold something with an area so flat, you know that you can fold it. You can fold it into small pieces, half, quarters, eighths. And you see they basically have the same area like that. You shoot it into space, but now the issue is, how are you going to open it? Now you could have rockets that'll propel it in every other direction. Oh goodness, look how many times you have to open that thing. It's just really inefficient. So with this map fold, all you'll have to do is just hold each or either end and pull it. Look at that. So efficient. And it holds the same amount of it. These papers are exactly the same, but look at how much energy and work, or how much less energy and work it takes. Thanks, you guys. Let's go to the next one. Tessellation. Make it your own. Hey guys, let's get started. Paper, transparency, it could be a cardboard, or it could be like a really thick cardstock, whatever your heart desires. Scissors are a definite must, as well as a pointing tool like that. It just needs to have like a pointed edge, a marker to draw your pattern. Now, all I'm doing right there is I'm just lining up the transparency with the paper. Thankfully, they're the same width and height. They're both 8.5 by 11, and you could draw any pattern. This marker right here, I'm just drawing any doodad of a pattern. It doesn't need to be a polyline like that. It can be zigzags. And honestly, I think it might be better if you do zigzags or something like that, because the curvature, folding these curves was a pain in the tush. But let's start scratching them. Let's scratch this paper up. We're gonna line it up, make sure the horizontals are aligned, and I just want to try to keep it as uniform as possible, but I am Meredith and I am a rebel to my own demise, unfortunately. I know you guys can't see it, but I just kind of firmly, but not like cutting the paper. I was scratching the paper with that scratching tool, and the transparency helped guide me. I'm spacing these lines out about 1/2 inch. You can make them bigger when you first start out, or when you're first practicing. They could be 1 inch apart, but I chose 1/2 inch because, you know what, I like to make my life difficult. Now next, you can faintly see the lines right there. What you want to do is you're going to be creasing these in a pattern of, it doesn't matter the order, but the pattern does need to go. It needs to be valley, peak, or sorry, valley, mountain, whichever one you start with. It doesn't matter as long as you maintain that pattern. If you start out with the valley, your next one's going to be a mountain. Okay, and so on and so forth. So that one, in that case, we started out with a valley. Our next crease, 1/2 inch down, is going to be a mountain. And let me tell you now, this was a pain in the tush again. But I don't know, I started to get the hang of it. I think I do want to do more complex patterns because I think it is interesting. It doesn't really collapse like the Muda Ori fold, but it does its banana looking thing. You really just want to find your comfy spot on how you want to fold it. So I am what I've been told by my mom. I am tosca, like I'm rough. And I'm not exactly impatient with other people, but I am pretty impatient with myself. So you see how it's not, there are like creases where there shouldn't be creases, but that's cool. Honestly, it looks really rad like that. If I could have a textured wall with all of that pattern, I think I'd be pretty happy. Now, again, this isn't supposed to be like a Muda map fold. What it is it's just you're making your own pattern and you're seeing that it can curve to it and you can make your own. I'd love to see your versions. Thank you.